Hey everyone, Depressed Eeyore here, and this is Labyrinth Refrain Covenant Dusk. This is going to be just a summary video because I just finished recording my last session and it completely corrupted the video. So pretty much an hour's worth of work was gone. I had already saved, so yeah. So I'm going to be going over all the areas we've gone through. Good news is I didn't do any story. I was actually intending it for these next couple of sessions just to be focused on just going out of order and going to dungeons that we shouldn't be going to. So, with that in mind, you can probably see, I guess a few things to note is I did level up twice for my last little expedition. So we'll take a quick look at skills and kind of go from there. This is going to be a short video today, because, well, it sucks when you lose a bunch of work like this. So, got startle resistance up on our Aster Knights here. Crossbow Master on our Mad Raptors. Abyss Resistance up on the Marginal Mazes. Bell Master, finally, on Theatrical Stars. And nothing, I don't think anything that really stands out that we care about for the other characters because they're in the back row anyway. I did get a few new items, including some sealed items which I'll pop later. But yeah, I got tons of new items, including some new formations, so quite a bit as you can see. So I'll just quickly go down through these. So we already know about all of these. Defender Pack we know about. Grand Corn, worth 20 times the value of normal Ear of Corn. Spider Heart, this blackened heart makes enemies less likely to land critical hits. Some gear, some of it I've already swapped in. Muddy Pact. It is 100% experience to the attacker. Attacker is less likely to be targeted by enemies. And then the two supporter rolls are 25% experience. One of them reduces Dunham cost by 80%, and reduces it essentially by 20%. And then the other one increases mana gain based off luck up to 15%. We'll take a look at these new packs because I couldn't look at them during the video because I was gambling experience. Toxic Mushroom, don't worry, it only tastes toxic, it's not actually poisonous. Some bells. Sheer Star Pack. This is Theatrical Star only. 20% of slotted character's charm will be applied to attack, defense, hit, and avoid. Theatrical Star is the ones that use bells, by the way. And then it's essentially the slot is called Star, and it has 150% experience gain. And then the rest of them are 5% experience, as they are just essentially groupies. We got one where there's a high chance for attacker to survive a killing blow with 1 hit point left. 10% of slotted character's attack will be applied to attacker's attack. 5% of defense applied to attacker's defense. Attacker is much more likely to be targeted by enemies, and then Dunham costs are increased by essentially 1.5 times, which is probably not a good thing. Alright. Some of these. Barricade Pack. This has a supporter, which is Pure Fortress only, 25% experience. Defense will increase by 1.25 times when using the Fortified Coven command. And then 2 walls, which what they do is they provide 15% of the slotted character's defense will be applied to attacker's defense. So essentially they buff each other's defense, including themselves. Fermented leaves. The fermented leaves of fragrant trees are used in many medicines. Red Yarn of Fate, high quality yarn, no doubt spun by a skilled craftsman. Bunch of these. Sealed Sword. Field Cook Pack. All slots are 50% experience. You got the Field Cook and Field Cook Leader. These have, attacker has 35% chance to heal 5% of its max HP after battle. And then reduce Dunham cost by 20%. And then attacker much more likely to be targeted by enemies. Not that great. Also we got the book, Working in the Fields, changes a character's outward nature to reliable. Okay, that's all of that. Let's take a look at some formations while we're here. So this one does Insight 2 and Area Hasten 2. Guard 2, Stamina Boost 2, and Will Boost 1. Sheer Star does Opera of Darkness, Flower Boogie, Craze Carnival, Pole Trick Display, and Area Heal 2. Muddy pack does Mud Fling 1, Mud Fling 2, Mud Wall, Mud Weakening, and Mud Counter. Essentially a bunch of mud element attacks and ways to reduce mud resistance, as well as reflect mud attacks and increase your mud defenses. So pretty standard stuff. Alright, and that's the Campanula Pact. Yeah. Alright. So we got that going for us. So I definitely wanted to change up these formations, but unfortunately I need to make this video first to kind of show exactly what I did last video and kind of give a recap. But before we do that, I'm going to go ahead and remove a seal. I'm going to remove all these seals while I'm here. Might as well. Don't care about the seal sword. 157. Not bad. Seal bell. 157 attack aura bell. That is a bell. That is a bell. Let's go ahead and equip that. D or Kokuma. Okay. And then didn't mean to go here. We will be making new puppets, but not right now. Alright, synthesis. Aura bell. I'm going to take the copper bell that we originally had, red bell, copper bell, red bell, and blessed bell. Okay, we don't have enough bells yet. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and save. Alright, so first thing I did, so first of all, I unlocked a new area, unfortunately. So, well, since I'm already here, I'm also going to take care of a witch petition. We're going to... right now, my karma is around 80, almost capped out. So I'm going to spend 3,200 mana to reduce my karma by 99. Now my karma is back to 0. Alright. And then I'm going to save. And then I'm going to dispatch. So first things first, I'm going back to Cobalt Campanula. I wanted to show off what the FOE is. I can already tell you it's going to kill us. Like, no questions asked, it's going to murder us. I'm not going to worry about putting the Medex up because I'm literally going to reset when this thing kills me.
I won't let you down. Hold there. Alright? Yeah, the time is now. I hope this works. Huh? Here I come. Huh? Huh? This there.
Now if I do somehow kill it, it's not going to be worth the trouble, but... Let's do this.
I won't let you down.
So yeah, Rau, 33,000 HP. Raises flame resistance for 5 rounds. That would actually be probably useful for this guy because he does a lot of flame attacks. But we're gonna die anyway, so I'm not gonna worry about it.
A second win, a second chance.
I'm surging.
Okay, let's do this.
We're all set.
Get it together. How's this?
Just in time.
So yeah, SWAT attacks entire covens. He's already hitting for about 1,500. And then he does things like put up a solid guard where he starts charging up for big, massive damage.
A second win.
I'm surging. This formation?
There.
Big arms.
Witness the power!
Oh wow, gore hit right in the stomach.
A second win.
I'm surging. I'm surging.
So yeah, we're dumping all I have into this. Heal 2 is fine.
We're all set. This is not
Great.
There.
Alright.
There.
Witness the power of Donum.
Here I come.
Alright, where are we at? We're halfway through.
I'm surging.
It's also been... Okay, your attack up's still active. Heal on yourself. You've used up all your donut power.
This for there.
Oh, you're confused.
Yeah.
Okay, confused wore off. Alright, I'm out of reinforcements. I'm gonna go ahead and do sharpen.
We're all how's this? Huh?
Deep breath. So this guy can attack up to 3 times. Affected by poison. Okay, he's doing a big one. Because he's not doing anything else this round. Yep, great flame breath. Oh, there goes your right arm. And there goes the rest of you.
Witness the power of Donum.
Startled. He's still poisoned. Yeah, last time, well, I got I got kind of wrecked.
Witness
Flame rods, okay. Okay, we killed him. No one's alive, but we killed him.
My edges.
My battle
I
skills have
leveled up.
improved.
I don't have anything for reinforcements. Alright, so yeah, we're just going to head on back. So I guess ironically, I wasn't planning on winning, and now I don't actually have a way of bringing back the mud X that I put in. So I'm gonna have to go back through and do it myself. Well, in that case, I'm gonna go ahead and step down here. I did step briefly down here just to show off this green area. So right now I do have the fog veil active. But notice I still take damage. It's not a lot of damage, but it does do things like status effects and all that good stuff. It's like, essentially, this Miasma is too strong. So, I'm gonna go ahead and just get out of here. I'll use a witch spell. So there you go, some extra content I didn't do last time. Yeah, pretty much when he did the fire attack, well, once he killed all my mad raptors, I kind of just tried to run away, and eventually I succeeded. I actually managed to run away from that guy. But I failed like 4 or 5 times, and despite the fact that I failed about 5 times, and he was spamming like fire attacks like every round, I was actually tanking it pretty well, so...
Not bad. This'll help us fight.
Oh, am I stronger now?
So it was actually kind of crazy that it, worked as well as it did. Okay, so everyone's repaired, I believe. Yep, everyone's repaired. So cool. The experience obviously was not worth it as far as fighting that guy. He had over 30,000 HP, and it took us so many rounds to kill him, and all of our reinforcements. But that's okay. So, so after that, the next thing I did was actually I went to the Verdant's Venom again. So I'm gonna go and do that all again. I hope the dialogue's all the same. But if it's not, I apologize. I'll try to summarize. But yeah, we're gonna go ahead and dive back into this, and I collected a bunch of items. I broke some walls. I kind of fully explored 2 of the areas.
Let's begin.
Hold the there.
We also fought the neutral monster that's here. The neutral monster shows up a lot more often in this particular dungeon, which is of course a problem because there's an area where your karma matters.
I'll wipe the floor with this.
All set. There. A stirring victory.
Let's begin.
This for there. All set.
Here I come.
Yeah. Break a leg. Justice has been dealt.
Not sure if I actually broke its leg, but I broke something. So one thing I did is I went back here. The door to the house opens and Nico slowly steps outside. Toby? Toby, are you here? Where? Who are you? Oh, are you the people who were here earlier? I wonder where Toby is. Have you seen him? Me and Toby? We're best friends. I used to run a flower shop in the city, but I lost my vision due to an illness. But then I met Toby, and he brought me to the countryside to help me recuperate. He says there's a legendary herb that can treat any illness. I know, it's ridiculous, isn't it? But I like living here anyway. I get to be surrounded by nature, flowers, and bugs. I really appreciate how thoughtful Toby is. That's why we live here together. I'd like to continue our conversation. Please join us for dinner. Toby makes this honey pottage that is just to die for. With a meek smile, Nico turns around to go back inside when he suddenly remembers something. Ah, yes, this area is rife with bumblebees, so please be careful. One sting will give you a 3-day fever, in addition to any harmful effects. But at the same time, they are normally very docile, so I appreciate it if you did not kill them. With that, Nico goes back inside the house. Well, we don't exactly have an option as far as getting past those things. Alright, we're gonna pop that, and now we're on the opposite side. So I'll go ahead and show the map off. As you can see, I kind of fully explored everything. There are 3 exits. One of them's an exclamation mark, the other ones are standard exits. Oh well. Ah, they're scared of me already. I mean, I was already over leveled when we first arrived here. Now I'm definitely over leveled. Does make my job easier. Oh yeah, so I went into this area and it's talking about the train, and you have to get a camphor leaf to actually use the train. It's essentially an insect that is also a train. Alright, so... Alright, we're gonna go ahead and take the route down here first. So yeah, I'm not gonna go through every location. The locked chests are locked with various keys that I will not get either. I'll either get sooner or much later, depending on which key it mentioned. The keys that were mentioned were the backworm key and the Furia key. The Furia key is something we're not going to get for quite some time. Alright, this floor is still aggressive. Good to know. Alright, so this area, so what we were in before was Spring Realm Bear Flower. Now we're in Spring Realm Mutton. I do have, you can see where my mud exit's set up. And there's a bunch of little exclamation marks here. So we're going to go to each of those exclamation marks. I believe the dialogue will be the same, so we'll go ahead and take care of those as soon as we can. And while we're at it, we're just going to tag a bunch of these items to add to my collection. Here singing off in the distance. Howling wind and pouring rain, full of happiness, full of hope. My. Okay, let's dance, let's sing. All glory to the coming spring. The fairy bard sings with all her heart and forgets about you. You leave the area. Okay, so that takes care of that. Alright, I'm gonna go... So, actually, I'll point out one other thing on the map. In the center there, where I kind of stopped exploring, you notice that that last tile that I revealed is a little lighter than the other ones. That represents hallowed ground. And hallowed ground every step on hallowed ground does damage equal to your karma to your entire party. And yeah, needless to say, it's when I was, you know, once I got to that point, I was already at 80 something karma. Oh my gosh, shit, seriously guys?
I'll wipe the
Try to
floor
avoid
with
you guys.
Hold the right now, everyone. Right?
So, it's not exactly safe to walk around. When I first encountered it, I didn't exactly know what it meant.
Here I come.
And I just kind of took the damage and just dumped a bunch of items to heal through it. Which is a little annoying if you're trying to 100% the area, because you're just trying to reveal all the map. You can see there's some areas where I actually kind of cleared some stuff, and that thing was talking about the Lamiadon. You can see your karma in the Tractatus formation screen. Certain spaces will damage you if your karma is too high, so this is what it's talking to you. The catch is it doesn't matter how high your karma is, it will do damage to you. So yeah. So right now I'm stepping in hollow ground, but since I reset my karma back to 0, I'm not taking any damage. So now I can freely explore a little bit safer. Great Sage's key needed, so we're not getting that for a while. The bagworm moth cocoon drops from the trees above. It does not appear to be hostile. Good to see you here, Witch Brigade. No, Tractatus de Monstrum. Long time no see. Oh, is that a soul I sense in you? Well, you look like your old self, but I doubt you remember me. You are no doubt here to collect it. Why else would you come all this way? We can address that in a second. I have more pressing matters to discuss with you. A monstrous flower is harming the forest. Will you slay it for me? The creature's called a Lamiadon. If you cannot kill it, you might as well turn back. Now go, complete this task and return to me when it's done. Though I will know before you return whether you were successful or not. You leave the area in a hurry. Labyrinth Spragworm has requested that you defeat the Lamiadon. Alright. New content. Compared to my corrupted video that I can't use. Alright, so grab that. Everything's always in my way. Trying to avoid encounters, mainly just to speed things along. Like I said, I just want to summarize everything.
We won.
And hope that this doesn't get corrupted, because then I'll have to explain even more things that I've now added to my list of things I've done. You stumbled upon the scattered remains of a fairy barcade. Okay, well, since I kind of progressed the quote-unquote plot, there was actually a fairy bard here, and it kind of sung a different song. That's pretty much all it did. It literally just ignores you. It just sings and sits there. The assailant's trail leads deeper into the thicket. You leave the area. The remains of a fairy bard, Lamiadon, must be responsible for this. So now I have to go to pretty much all the former locations of the fairy bards.
All set. Let's go.
To get the information. We'll probably end up fighting a boss.
Here I come.
And then after we fight that boss, I'll probably get a key out of it for my trouble. Which I think we're going to need one way or the other. Singing off in the distance. Howling wind and pouring rain, full of happiness, full of hope. My, let's... La la la. Oh! Before the fairy bar can even let out a scream, a Lamiadon appears from behind and swallows her whole. Lamiadon glares at you, then vanishes into the thicket. You leave the area. You must pursue Lamiadon. Alright, Alright. Okay, so there's one more fairy that we... Wait. Yeah, there's one more fairy we need to go to. That's the first one we spoke to a while back. The one that actually gave dialogue options. That didn't really matter.
I'll wipe the floor.
This all set. Got it. Victory is ours.
You hear a scream from the thicket. Help! Someone help me! Piercing scream for help reverberates throughout the forest, followed by silence. If you head toward the thicket, you might be able to help. You leave the area. You hear a scream from the thicket. Perhaps Lamyodon has appeared. Well, there's an exclamation mark there, so that kind of gives it away. Oh my god, you guys are just always in the way. Alright, we're just gonna go around. Take a detour. Like that. Alright, so we need to go here and then take the other exit to get to the other area, the thicket. By the way, I got a rock. Alright, so this area had a few things. Bug.
All set. Let's go. We're there.
So ogre fleas, I haven't really been talking much about the enemies. The ogre fleas can do poison with their attacks, which are actually pretty accurate and do reasonable damage.
I hope this works.
We haven't really encountered the rest of the things that we encounter. There's these little floating pins that will, they are pretty durable compared to the other enemies, and they will feed meat to grass. Alright, so I'm just waiting for this to... Come on, poison, you can wear off anytime soon. Thank you. There's these pins that are a bit more durable, and they will cast AoE fog. The fairy bards that we've been seeing, those are actually enemies. Those are the neutral enemies. They will spam AoE fog damage as well. That's a lot more damaging, and debuff you. And there's, I think everything else you guys have seen already. All right, let's have ourselves a boss fight. He sends something in the thicket. Shudder. You discover a fairy bard crouched down and trembling. Lamyodon is. You try to assure the fairy bard that everything will be all right. Everything's not all right because Lamyodon. Because Lamyodon left me here as bait.
I'm nervous.
Enemy ambush. So we're ambushed this time around. But I'm not that concerned.
Hold this formation, right? How's this?
Just a scratch.
Poison and fog.
Right? Yeah.
Witness the power of Donum.
Huh? Here I come. Ow.
Okay.
There. Huh?
Witness the power of Donum.
Yeah, I mean, I mentioned before, we're already over leveled for this area, and now more so.
A stirring victory.
Massacre Pack. After defeating Lamyodon, you find seeds inside its stomach. They appear to be all that's left of the Fairy Bardcade. You obtain Fairy Bard seeds. Please accept these seeds. My sister would be happy to know they are in safe hands. Spring will never come. Perhaps you should report your progress to Madame Dronia. Alright, report this. Got a bunch of stuff. The remains of devoured fairy bar. What happens if you bury them? And then the Massacre Pact. Slotted characters of Void will be reduced by a large amount. And then a bunch of supporters that have no effects. Neat. Well, I can't look at it because I'm currently gambling. don't have any karma at the moment. So I should be able to easily go to where I need to go. Which is here. I'm not surprised that you managed to slay the Lambiodon. I expected nothing less from a witch's servant. Now, Tractatus de Monstrum, in accordance with the old pact, I shall tell you where to find that which you seek. You must first journey to the Hollowed Fall Realm. There you will find what you've come to collect within a most pungent fruit. Prince Bagworm raises his hand. You have mastered the Trekkie skill, Green Miasma Ward. You are now safeguarded against the miasma that permeates the depths of Fall Realm. Now go, but remember, I chose that hiding spot because it is the most well fortified against powerful threats. Now Numblebee is buzzing around the area, perhaps it's sniffing around for that fruit. At your current stature, you cannot cross swords with a Numblebee and expect to survive. Avoid its detection at all costs. Now go, Tractatus de Monstrum. You leave the area in a hurry. Green Miasma Ward. Based on the clues, what you're looking for is deeper in the forest. Alright, so I've actually unlocked more plots, even though I've skipped a plot. So the Green Miasma is actually what we need to continue down that other area. Remember I pointed out the different color miasma over in the Campanula, or whatever it's called? Yeah, that is what we need to actually go through that area. I did not mean to do that.
I'm nervous.
Sure, I'll fight you.
Right?
I don't need to worry about hollowed ground anymore.
The time is now. Huh?
So yeah, they can buff themselves, and
Here I come.
they can buff allies, and they can debuff us. All right.
We won.
So despite
Thanks
this
to
supposed to
me.
be a recap for lost content, I've kind of unlocked more stuff. Quite a bit of stuff, in fact.
I'll wipe the floor.
I'm all right. All set.
I definitely actually want to go back to the Campanula then, since I now have access to it.
There. Yes, victory.
I mean, I could have gone down there anyway, but it's not exactly safe to go down there when you don't have, when you're constantly being poisoned and stenched over and over again. And also the damage over time. Go away.
I won't let you down. This
Go away.
Just a
I mean, I
scratch.
don't really need to complain about this. This is free experience and mana, but
I hope this.
just trying to get through all this.
Here I come.
So, now, like I mentioned before, I didn't go through the area that had the hollow ground because I was floating around 80 karma, but I also didn't want to return yet because I didn't have access to a antechamber yet, and I didn't exactly want to waste all the mana I have. So I continued up towards the train. Also, okay, I was just checking a few things. And there's this event here. This is the train. I've already fed it the leaf, and so it kind of resumed again and carried us to the other area. Now, this is what happens if you don't have a leaf, because I don't have a leaf anymore. You notice a giant caterpillar perched on top of the grassy walls. Its body is adorned with small windows, giving it the appearance of a train. The caterpillar train stares intently at you. It looks like it wants something. The caterpillar train is enraged and prepared to attack. You can't avoid this battle.
I won't let you down. We're all right. There.
Potato flutes, powered by the potato flute.
Witness this.
Yeah.
Alright, so this thing's not particularly tough.
Sounds right. All set.
No.
Not that easy.
Alright, that was off the rails, hit the entire back row, and stunned.
There.
Here I come.
Here I come. Yay!
And I just broke the entire train's caboose. Now when you kill it,
Excellent victory.
the caterpillar train seems surprised and vanishes into the forest. So what we got was a camphor leaf, and then we can use it and give it to it. The caterpillar train takes the camphor leaf and ravenously devours it. The caterpillar train is behaving strangely. Maybe it's operational now. You hurry into the caterpillar train. What a daring decision. You step off the caterpillar train and arrive in the autumnal fall realm. You will need a camphor leaf to return to spring realm. Keep an eye out for treasure points. So yeah, this is implied that you're not strong enough to fight that thing, which it did hit me pretty hard. It's not anything out of the ordinary. Anyway, so there's one more thing. There's one more event I triggered here that's no longer here. And what that event did was the ground started shaking, and you ended up seeing a giant Picoro, which Picoros are those weird onion things. It was a giant one. Like, took up the entire screen with its head type size. And it pretty much clearly stated, hey, you're not strong enough to handle this, and you hide, and then it wanders off. And it's like, hey, you probably shouldn't mess with that thing. There's some little bit of foreshadowing.
The stars bless this
When that happened, and I mentioned also to that I'll talk more about that particular Picoro in the future, because this game does do some shitty things, and one of them involves that Picoro. But for right now, we don't need to worry about it. Oh, by the way, these are the pens. They're not so bad anymore now that we got a few more level ups and better gear.
V for victory! Yay!
Alright, so yeah, there's a route to the up in the top right corner that we can follow that will kind of loop around. That will start leading to an area that's filled with a bunch of FOE patrols. And those will also be giant Picoros, but not as large as the one that you encountered in the event. And they're very much fightable, though they're not really fun to fight at all. Linker pack. Mad Raptor only. Slotted characters of Void will be increased by a large amount. And then 10% of slotted characters' luck will be applied to drop rate after battle. And if the last 2 digits of damage equal attacker's lucky number, deal extra damage. So this is one of those situations where your lucky number actually does something. So for example, our lucky number is 26. So if Nidori hit for, like, I don't know, 526 damage, it would do extra damage. That effect would trigger, because it's the last 2 digits and they match the lucky number. And then Ryson's is 76. Anyway, this is where I found the antechamber. I do need to actually fight one more battle. My bad.
May the stars bless this
Alright,
battle.
and these are the magic tumblers. They cast spells, they debuff your resistances, and they're actually reasonably durable.
Sounds right. Oh, there!
Witness the power.
And they can obviously roll on top of you.
Yeah. This. Right. Yeah.
Okay,
Excellent victory.
let's cash out. Oops. I didn't cash out. My bad.
We're all set, right? All set. There. Yeah. There.
Witness the power of Donum.
Alright, let's try this again.
Stirring victory. Whoops. Whoops.
I hear the
Right.
darkness calling.
Okay, got that taken care of. Let's go back through here, and I'm guessing a monster probably have already spawned over here. Nope. Okay, we're clear. And then once I got into this antechamber, it unlocked 3 Towers of Umbra, a labyrinth made up of 3 towers, each ruled by a tower lord and decorated per their wishes. 40, and minimum rank is 44. So we'll go ahead and go to the base. I'm not going to do the story event. I'm instead going to focus on, like I said, I'm just going to explore as much as I can and just do everything in bulk.
My battle's
Still getting stronger.
Swordmaster.
Not bad.
I hear the darkness.
It's just strength.
Oh, am I stronger now?
Oh, cool. That's actually kind of helpful. So it won't reveal the choice report because I've done them out of order. I hope it doesn't break anything. Alright. If it does break anything, I guess have some means to handle that. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and call this a video. I don't know how long this went, but like I said, I lost a lot of footage and I just wanted to recap everything as best as I can. So I apologize for that, but you did get to see some new stuff as well, so yay for progress. Off screen, I'm going to mess with equipment and start shuffling my formation around, as well as maybe make some new puppets. So, I am the Depressed Dior, this is Labyrinth, Refrain, Covenant of Dusk. See you guys later.